Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Asian Blokes podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time. Really, my name is Dan with H. With me, as always, my co-host Tavi. What's up, Tavi?
Oh, it's another spooky episode today, Dan.
It is. We're continuing.
This one hits closer to home. Whichever continuing or starting, whichever one you decide you want to chug on first.
Yeah. I'm going to say continuing. We're continuing the spookiest month of the year, October, with some Asian horror films. Today we're going to be talking about a Thai film, which, as Tavi said, hits pretty close to home for us, being Thai adjacent. But in order to talk about this film, we enlisted some help. We've got the Chad in the house, the Chad from Cheers Big Ears. Welcome to the show, Chad.
Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka, yeah.
You have been taking notes.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, gee.
The good thing is I already had that in my bag. I've been to Thailand a few times, so
Nice
I
one.
made sure I prepared to have that in my memory bank. And the other thing I was supposed to do today was I was going to get a chang, and I was going to have a chang on the episode to go with the film and everything, but it completely slipped my mind. So
I haven't had a chang beer in ages. That's good stuff. Yeah. Very, very crisp.
Are you a Chang guy or a singer guy, Tavi?
I think I prefer sing just a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What about Bia Lau? You like Bia Lau?
Bia Lau, yeah. Bia Lau's the best, man. Bia Lau's straight up. Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah, you might not know this, Chad, but Tavi and I, our parents are from Laos. Well, Tavi's half Thai.
Right.
But my parents are both from Laos. We were both born in Australia, though, so we're like second generation from this same area as this movie was set, I guess.
yeah, right, yeah, because it's an Isan.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I didn't even realize. I thought it was a Thai language film. And then when I was watching, I was like, how come I can understand so much of this? I don't usually understand Thai films. So it's a pleasant surprise.
It was a pleasant surprise, yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to the medium eventually. But before we do that, whenever we have a guest on the show, we like to talk a bit about the guest first, get them to introduce themselves and specifically their experience with Asian pop culture growing up and just pop culture in general, like what kind of films and media you were brought up on. So Chad, like us, you're a fellow Aussie. You're from Newcastle, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm a Newie boy.
So... Yeah, I guess before we get into all of that, though, you do have a podcast, Cheers Big Ears. How about we start by talking about your podcasting journey? Yeah, we recently joined you for an episode where we talked about our top 5 Asian films, and it was a hell of a time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Great, fun episode. People should go listen to that. We got into a little bit about our respective podcasting journeys. You started pre-COVID, right?
Yes. So it's coming up on 7 years on the 5th of October. The first episode went up 5th of October 2019. It was actually the second episode recorded because the first one, the microphones didn't work properly. So that's why if you go right back to episode 1, it's actually called For the First Time a Second Time.
Yeah.
That was the first episode. The genesis of the podcast was basically I'd always wanted to do one. Me and my mates were going to do one, and it never eventuated. And because we wanted to do it way back, very first, like the beginning days of podcasting, and it just never happened. And then I decided to pull my fist out and get the stuff and get it started. And I had a storytelling idea that I wanted to do, but I needed to wet my whistle with a podcast first. And wet my whistle I did by using booze to get the courage to record. And myself and my first co-host, Sid, it was basically just recreating the conversations we'd have at the pub, but just in front of microphones, cracking a couple of drinks. Those early episodes are very, very drunk. Very drunk and slurry. I haven't gone back and listened to some of those, and I don't think I want to.
That's all right. It's good to have as kind of like a reminder. Because we all got to start somewhere. We're going to have a foundation.
Yeah. Use it as the benchmark.
Yeah.
And you were unable to drink during our guest appearance on your episode, so you have brought an alcoholic beverage to this podcast, right?
Yes, I did. Because on Cheers, I try to do a different beer for every episode, or the way it is now, it's usually that, but I couldn't because on your appearance because I had a concussion. So, and that's long gone now. So I'm drinking a Mountain Culture Rocky Ridge. Ooh. It's a Rocky Mountain high hazy IPA.
Lovely.
It's 5.8%, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, love a good mountain culture. I went to the brewery up there not that long ago, actually, up in Barrel, in the Blue Mountains. Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice time. I've still got some grog left. Look how kawaii this can is. The listeners can't see, but
is that? Oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, grog.
I'm not drinking anything because I don't have any alcohol in the fridge, surprisingly. Because actually no, I do have this bottle of wine that's next to me. Yeah, so that's what I was drinking last time. There you go. Yeah. I do actually have a drink. You know what? I'm going to drink it now because I'm not driving anywhere later.
Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
For people that haven't listened to Cheers Big Ears before, it is just really fun conversations over some alcoholic beverages generally. Not always alcoholic beverages, but always fun conversations. So you tend to have a different topic every week. Is that right, Chad?
Try to. It originally, in the early days, it was pretty much talking pop culture, and we would do movie trailers and kind of movie reviews and stuff. Back in the day, we with one of my mates, I'd get him on, and we do like a car park reviews. So it'd be basically us going to the movie and then recording a little 30-minute review in the car.
Yeah.
After the film, and haven't done that for years. And I try to have a main topic for most episodes, be it a top 5 or a little game or just a talking point, just to have a main topic, basically. Yeah. But at the moment, we've got Matt, my co-host, is earning back his co-host title, and I've given him the ultimatum that he's got to have 5 consecutive episodes in a row to earn that.
To be a co-host.
These are his trials of Theseus or Perseus or whoever did those trials.
So we just recorded his 2nd, and next Wednesday we're doing his 3rd, and I've actually given him control of the episode to bring the topics, and because I do everything pretty much most of the time, so that'll be interesting to see what he brings on the next one.
That's cool.
Well, by the time this episode goes out, Matt will have either succeeded or failed in his mission. So congratulations, Matt, for passing. Okay, and then I'll edit this one in if he fails. Yeah. Matt, you failure. How could you? You had one job.
How you printed like a graduation certificate of sorts, like congratulations, and you give him his degree ticket. You give it to him on the day. Yeah,
that I'm writing that note down now. I'm gonna do that.
A quick inauguration.
If he doesn't, I'll fire him on air.
Yeah. Well, on our guest appearance, we talked about our respective top 5 Asian films of all time. And during that episode, you were pulling out some pretty obscure Asian movies. We were both very impressed.
We were surprised. Yeah, we're like, damn, he knows his stuff. He's not just a tourist. He knows,
Yeah.
I mean, Urotsugi Dochi and The Sadness. That's a deep cut.
It's pretty deep.
And one of your favorite movies, I think, was I Saw the Devil. That's pretty cool.
Deliciously depraved taste.
And then I even threw, was it the Born to Fight movie that both of you had never heard of as well?
Yeah. Maybe you should be the new host, then we can be 2 Asian blokes and 1 white guy.
I told Chad afterwards, off air, as soon as he mentioned Legend of the Overfiend, he became an honorary Asian bloke. So,
Just call him 3 Asian blokes. That's so good, yeah.
Or it could be the 2 Asian blokes and the White Devil. or Guilo, Farang, you know, like any of them.
Gaijin.
Gaijin.
Oh yeah, that's why we can call you the like Kon Farang. Yeah.
Kun Falang.
Kon
But
Farang.
yeah, afterwards I also did ask you like where you actually came across some of these films, because growing up in Australia, they're not easy films to find, I would say. So I did ask you that afterwards, but then I was like, don't tell me now. Tell me when you're on the air with us on the episode, because that's the story that me and Tavi want to hear about.
Yeah, especially in Newcastle as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for people that don't know, Newcastle is not like one of the main cities in Australia.
No, it's like it's a big country town. It's probably I think it's the second biggest city in like for the upper New South Wales.
Okay. Yeah.
And coming across, like we had all the video stores. So we had Blockbuster, Civic Video Easy, and then your little boutique family-run stores. So it was the little boutique family stores where I first kind of come across, SBS.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Saturday
SBS.
nights, SBS, the cult movie. That's where I came across my the first anime that I ever watched, which was Ninja Scroll.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The unedited version before they realized that they should have
really?
censored the shit out of that movie.
I'm surprised that made it to Australian TV.
Fuck.
Second time they viewed it, there was so much cut out the second time.
Yeah.
There's two versions.
that I saw it. Yeah. The most of the versions you can get on DVD here, all the shuriken are censored and blurred out. And of course, there's some other really graphic stuff in that movie that's been edited out.
The sex scenes are pretty much toned down.
Yeah.
Because I think Madman was distributing it. But like when we watched it, we got it from the video store as well. And I remember watching it at Dan's house. I'm like, this is pretty. Like I knew about the sex and violence, but like, damn, like. He's doing some pretty depraved stuff to Kagero. I'm not going to say in case we get banned on YouTube, but I was like, damn, this is the real shit. Yeah.
It's just anime stuff, you know?
So yeah, it was. I think it was SBS where I kind of saw Police Story for the first time as well.
Okay.
So it was those Saturday nights that got me. That wet the whistle, and then it was just going to the video shop, going to the foreign movie section, picking anything that was in that section and just running it dry. And then it was some of the ones that I bought were from there was a video shop in Mayfield, and it was called Mainstream Video, and it was kind of like a wholesaler place.
Yeah.
And that's where I bought my VHS copy of Blood the Last Vampire that cost like $60 because it was an import and it was brand new. And so that's basically where it all came from.
Yeah, okay.
As soon as I watched watched one of the anime and then one Jackie Chan movie, I was all in and I was consuming it.
How do you remember how old you would have been at that time?
It was in late 80s, early 90s, so probably like 13, 14.
Yeah, all right.
And probably I think maybe I was around that age when I saw like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Then it was like 16, 17 for all the anime and stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's really cool. Like obviously something about Asian cinema kind of struck a chord with you at that age.
Oh, yes.
If you had to pick something, I mean, those are two very different things, a Jackie Chan film and Ninja Scrolls. But what do you think kind of resonated with you when you're watching those on SBS and made you go to actively search them out at the video store?
Well, the anime was...
The sex scenes, obviously.
Was getting to a point.
It was the sex scenes, yeah. So, Urosugi Dochi? Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was... Because I grew up like watching a lot of the golden age of animation and cartoons. So I grew up on original Ninja Turtles in 1989. Mask, He-Man, Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, all that type of stuff. And then like going to like Robotech, Battle of the Planets, Gatchaman, and that type of stuff. Seeing Ninja Scroll and then Wicked City, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, I think it was seeing the more mature, the grown-up. It was grown-up cartoons. And that's what grabbed me from that aspect. But then from the Hong Kong cinema, because it was a lot of Hong Kong cinema that I watched to start with. And then moved into more of Japan and the rest of the Asian world, it was the action.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that level of action and comedy and stunt work outside, like in mainstream Western movies.
Yeah.
And that's what just grabbed me. And then my love of horror kind of opened me up even more. So that's when I stepped into the world of Asian horror and J horror and K horror and all that. So
Yeah.
very nice.
that's where the tentacles have wrapped around me and held me in.
And you weren't like, Yamete there. You were like, more, please.
But no, it's cool to hear because like one of the things that sort of sparked me to want to start our particular podcast is I think it was at a time where there was a lot of people sort of like crying online about saying, oh, there's not enough like, you know, Asians in movies or whatever. And I was like, there's heaps. There's always been like Asian representation. You just have to go and look for it. And it's really cool to hear that it struck a chord with you because you saw one thing and you've gone to look for it, you know, like whether or not it is in terms of the representation thing. Like you're seeing, I guess, like Asian skin, but that doesn't really matter to you. It's just like, yeah, this is just cool for me, you know? So
it's 100%.
Yeah, so it's really nice to hear that like there is definitely people that are engaging with this kind of cinema, and it's always really, even if you live it in, because still like living in Newcastle, because the way that Dan and I have exposed ourselves to this movies is you know, we've got the video stores. I remember like JB Hi-Fi had the Eastern Eye section. But for most people, it is admittedly sailing the high seas to go get these films because they're not readily available.
Two Asian Blokes does not endorse piracy in any way. The opinions of Tavi does not reflect the opinions of the show.
But well, they kind of do. I know we don't have a legal guy, but it doesn't really matter anyway. But
it's okay.
And back in those old days too, the price of that stuff and getting those imported DVDs and stuff was ridiculous, which then resorts you to the high seas.
Or video rental. You know, you can always. Yeah. The good thing about those movies is that usually it's pretty cheap to rent them because they're not like new releases or anything. They're usually like a weekly that you can get in a pack of 5 weeklies for like $10. But I really like your story about growing up on like the golden age of American animation as well, and then transitioning into Japanese anime, because I think like that is a common thread for a lot of people, especially people that are like maybe around that age of like 13, 14, 15, where you're still watching cartoons, but you kind of want something a bit more adult in your cartoons. I think that's why the X-Men, the animated series, and Batman, the animated series is actually really successful, is because they're cartoons still aimed at that audience, but they're also introducing like pretty adult themes for that audience. Themes like, you know, like segregation and whatever Batman's doing. I actually didn't watch the Batman animated series, but you know,
I watched a little bit of it.
It's pretty dark compared to like something like a Ninja Turtles. So I think that kind of natural progression into like teenagers, I guess, looking for some slightly darker material, but still stuff that is kind of familiar, kind of leads to that transition. Usually it's a transition to like shonen anime rather than tentacles, but you know, you went into the deep end straight away, which I appreciate. and
again, that just goes back to my horror, like the love of horror. I was searching that stuff out. It's funny, I was at my mum's and there's a box of a few of my old VHS tapes that I'm going to be bringing to do kind of like I'm going to get an old VHS player that we've got, and I'm going to cut the cords off and have my old VHS tapes kind of around it as like a kind of like an art piece just on the wall. And then I'll just put tapes in and out of the machine, half sticking out, so I can change it every time. I found I've got Wicked City on VHS and Ring O Ring Zero, the prequel, and it's
a bit etchy in that, isn't it?
I was going through the box, and I was like, wow, I've still got those. I was trying to find. I think somewhere in that house there is a Legend of the Overfiend VHS tape. I will find it and I will take a photo. I will send it.
Are we going to eventually queue up our Legend of the Overfiend review? Because I haven't seen Urosugi Tochi. I'm pretty sure I know where to get it.
Yeah, Chad's house.
Oh yeah, I always try to look for an excuse to go to New South Wales, or come to Castlemaine. We can do an Urosugi Dochi movie marathon, because there's a couple of them, isn't there? There's a
few, and then there was a OVA series, and it progressively moved away. Like the first movie is the one.
It's the main,
for all the nastiness, and they get tamer as they go along.
Yeah,
and
I think I remember that. Yeah,
less away from it.
Yeah,
it goes really super like post-apocalyptic as they go on. And I haven't seen, I think, past the second second one.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, they took out what made it fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you kind of went out to look for these films because they were quite different from the kinds of media that you were used to as well. Like you mentioned, being into horror, but then again, like J-horror at the time would have been quite different to an American horror experience.
Yes.
I think like in the 90s, it was mainly slashes, right? So something like The Ring in comparison to that is quite a different experience. It's still horror, but it would have been very different to what you were used to. So yeah, I think that's also what's really cool about Asian cinema is that it's usually pretty different of an experience to what people are used to. And that applies very strongly to Legend of the Overfiend. Honestly, when we were like talking to you in our episode of Cheers Big Years, I was a little bit worried because usually when we invite guests onto the show, we try to find a movie that is kind of pushing the boundaries of what they're used to viewing and what they're comfortable with viewing. And the more movies you started name dropping, like Legend of the Overfiend, The Sadness, we were like, we might have a bit of trouble finding a movie for this guy. Yeah. We went back and forth.
I'm surprised you didn't go the complete opposite and go like super family friendly.
We were thinking about doing that.
We thought about it. We actually did some brainstorming. We put our heads together, came up with some pretty crook movies. But like the thing was that the movies that we came up with, while they are a tough watch and they're really good movies, they might not be all that fun to talk about. So we were like,
yeah.
So we eventually settled on The Medium, which is actually my first time watching it. Had you seen it before, Tavi?
Yeah, I actually watched this movie earlier this year because it had been on my radar for a while. Because I knew it was a Thai South Korean production with Na Hong-jin involved of the Wailing fame, and it came on Shudder, so I tuned in onto Shudder, one of the services that I actually have. And I enjoyed it a lot when I first watched it. So I thought, let's talk about it. It's probably not. I don't think it'd be rate as the most disturbing movie.
No, definitely.
Chad. Yeah,
I think it's quite tasteful actually. But I mean,
it does get Chad, a little bit depraved at some points.
A little bit, yeah. We'll talk about it. But I mean, Chad being a big Asian horror fan, I think it was a good choice. So I guess without any further ado, we can start talking about The Medium. As you mentioned, a joint Thai and South Korean production, produced by Na Hong-jin and directed by Banjong Pisanthanakun.
Yes, he's a famous guy. Done a lot of classics.
Yeah.
Did Shudder, which I'm going to be seeing in the cinema in a couple of weeks, which will be cool.
Nice. Yeah. Classic. Have you seen Shudder, Chad?
I think so. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
It got an American remake.
If I have.
Yeah, it got an American remake.
Starring Joshua Jackson, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Jessica Alba, but that's the I.
That's the I, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the I, that's the Pang brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I haven't seen either of the Shudders, I think. Honestly, it all blurs together. I can't
Yeah, I mean, Shudder was like right in that pocket of Asian horror when Asian horror was starting to get big in the States. That's
2004 it came out. Yeah,
guess that's why I got an American remake. But yeah, good movie. And yeah, he's done other films. He did Alone as well, which I've heard is quite good, but I haven't seen it. So yeah, he's quite a big deal, especially for a Thai director. But yeah, this film is actually not in Thai. It is in the Isan language. It's an Isan language film, which is very close to Lao language.
To Lao,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit personal for us. That's why I found myself connecting a lot more with a lot of the, I guess...
the characters?
The scenery and just a lot of the customs.
Imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to Laos fairly recently, right, Tommy?
If you're calling 6 years...
More recently than I did. Last time I went was like 2000, I think. So when did you go to Thailand, Chad?
My first trip to Phuket was in 2011.
Okay.
And my last was, I arrived back in Australia March 20th, 2020.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was in Phuket when the great toilet paper shortage
I was going to say, like,
geez.
damn.
was happening.
Like, Jesus Christ, you would have had a hell of a time in fucking...
It was when we were there, the rumblings of it all was happening. So the paranoia was getting up a little bit towards the end there, and then seeing everything that was happening at home with the toilet paper shortages and it spiking. And then when we got back into the country, it was 3 days before mandatory 2-week isolation for people coming back into the country.
Yeah.
So I just snuck back in, and that was the last time. I went a lot, went over, partied, loved it. I've made lifelong friends
cool.
over there.
Not like the people within this film that we're about to talk about.
Yeah. Some not so great relationships in this film. So I guess we should do a little bit of a plot synopsis. I don't think many people will have seen this film, to be honest.
Yeah.
It flew under my radar. So it's like 2021, pretty well past the Asian horror boom. I mean, it's produced by the guy who made The Wailing, and it is very similar to The Wailing in terms of narrative, I guess, and themes, and even some of the imagery, I would say.
Yeah, it does look like it, yeah.
Yeah, but essentially it's a mockumentary style of film. A film crew have gone to a village to do a documentary about shamans, or the local shaman that lives there. So the local shaman is named Nin, and she is a vessel for the spirit Bayan, which she uses to kind of help people through the spiritual issues. And the whole thing starts off as like a pretty light documentary, but then the plot thickens when Nin's niece starts to exhibit signs of possession, and then the plot kind of goes from there. So it's kind of a mix of The Wailing and Grave Encounters, I guess, in terms of the format. Yeah, so pretty fun stuff. So have you seen many of this kind of like found footage style films, Chad?
So I saw the OG, the granddaddy of the found footage movies at the cinema, the Blair Witch Project. At that point, it was the first, and a lot of imitators come afterwards. I think I've seen the first Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that was like the revival.
Then the mockumentary kind of style ones. Oh, there was one about like a skeptic in the US that was trying to debunk a possession.
Oh, one of the exorcisms.
Yes, one of those type ones I've seen. So
Is it Emily Rose?
No, it wasn't the Emily Rose one.
Or something?
I should have had this piece of information, but that was the off the top of my head. That's the first one I kind of get. It was more of a traditional mockumentary. The way that this kind of starts, very much like it's a documentary, and then devolves as it goes on. That one was like it as well. So I've seen a few. So I knew all the touchstones of found footage. Moving.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun format.
It is. Found footage is sort of like it's sort of a guilty pleasure, because I know a lot of them are not good, but I still find them very entertaining to watch. There's this one on Netflix called Strange Frequencies, Taiwan Killer Hospital, and it's a remake of this Korean found footage film called Gongjiam, which is also one of the better found footage movies. But I do like the schlocky ones, like Grave Encounters. A big fan of the VHS series.
Oh yes,
as well.
VHS.
I
yes,
really enjoy those a lot. Yeah, they're really fun. They're just great, like as an experimental form of visual effects and special effects. I really enjoyed them, regardless of dialogue and acting quality or camera work or whatever. But that being said, I think the medium, one of its highlights for me, and maybe also a con, is the cinematography in this movie is really good. There are moments where it doesn't feel like it's found footage. It feels like a staged, interaction between people. And it sort of does blur the line of like, is this actually a mockumentary or, it's sort of.
Well, documentaries can have good cinematography.
Yeah.
They can, but I think like some of the shots in this film are really brilliant. There's, I think, one of the shots of Mink, who, when she sort of started to go crazy, she leaves work and she's just walking through the nighttime of like, I guess, the market or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this is really like this documentary camera guy. He knows what he's doing, man. He's he's quite steady. He's like, I'm gonna get the framing right. Yeah.
He's on a skateboard, just getting pushed to pass.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see. And I also particularly quite like the acting in this movie. Like some of it feels very, very real, and I think that goes into the casting as well because. Dan and I have seen these characters. They look very much like our, Lao uncles and aunties. They're very true to form. They look like real people.
Yeah, they sound like real people.
Yeah. It's really impressive. There's definitely some goofiness which comes in later where it's a bit more erratic. But we'll get into that. But I mean, like, question for Chad. Like, first of all, like, what did you think of this movie, or like, did you like this movie? Yeah.
So I'd never seen it before. I had actually never heard of it. And when you told me it was the medium that we were going to do, and you sent it through me, I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't do anything. I just jumped straight in.
You were expecting Patricia Arquette to show up and start talking to ghosts.
And so I didn't know it was the mockumentary. So I read basically the synopsis, and I didn't know it was the mockumentary found footage style. And what you were saying before, one of my notes here is the actors felt really natural, especially in those talking head kind of moments. It felt like talking head moments in a documentary series. And when I got to the end of the movie, I wrote on my notes that I loved this film.
Good.
I think it's up there with some of my favorite horror films.
Oh, damn.
I had such a really, really good time with it. The way that the dread slowly builds, and then once it picks up, it's that through. I do have a little bit of a problem. Like, it's not perfect. So towards the end, it does fall back in the very kind of found footage tropes and cliches.
Yeah, they saved all the tropes for the last 20 minutes of it.
It does become a little bit scattered and all over the shop, but I had a fun time. Absolutely fun time.
Yeah.
That's great to hear, yeah.
It is. You're so correct with the dread. I find on the second watch of this movie, I find this to be an extremely tragic story of this family who has been bestowed upon this bloodline responsibility. It's not even really a curse. It's like because I think the main sort of spine of the plot is that there's a deity that chooses a daughter in the family to become like the medium of the family, and it just picks whoever. It picks the daughter, and there's no escape to it. So I think the initial medium.
You mean Nim? Yeah.
Yeah. So she was actually the younger sister, and she wasn't supposed to be the medium, but I think the older sister, Nai, she's like, nah, I'm just going to become Christian now. So like, she doesn't want to do it, and it's quite sad to just have no control over your fate because of what has been decided for you, and then you watch mink who you don't really get too much of a glimpse of what she is like before the possession, but you do sort of see it. And she seems just like a nice, pleasant girl. And then, she goes through a fucking hell of a transformation. Yeah.
She's a modern girl, right? Like at the start, she doesn't even believe in ghosts and mediums. She laughs at them.
Yeah.
And you just know she's gonna cop it. Like she's like mocking the old ways. She's like, you're gonna get possessed, girl. And that actress pulls in a hell of a performance as well. It's really hard to play this kind of.
Like I've got in my notes, like the possession stuff that she does later on and stuff is top tier, like possession work. And talking about like the dread that builds up to, just not spoiling, but like a very, very bleak ending that is then followed by the most heartbreaking kind of ending.
Yeah.
And it's a double gut punch. It's a gut punch, and then you get stabbed, and then it's twisted at the end. Like,
yeah, totally.
This is Asian cinema. This is Asian cinema.
They really know how to make you feel bad.
especially when you get to that moment at the end, and it would have worked if there wasn't that crisis of faith at the end by Nim.
Yeah, I mean, from here, it is a 2021 film, so we will probably do full spoilers from here on in. But if you haven't seen it, guys, and you do feel like watching it after Chad's glowing review, why wouldn't you want to watch this movie?
Yeah, I know, right?
Go find it. Go do some piracy and find it. I don't know where you can watch it.
It's on Shudder.
Oh yeah, it's on Shudder. Forget what I said.
This guy making me to be the bad guy. I watch this legally.
Yeah, all right, man. Yeah, go find it. Go get a Shudder subscription. It's worth the money for this movie alone, honestly. Yes. All right, so yes, let's do some spoilers. So Mink gets possessed, and initially you're led to assume that it is Bayan that has possessed her. Well, Nim doesn't really think that at any point, I guess, but you don't really know who's possessed her. And I think you still don't know, even at the end of the film, unless I missed something.
Yeah, I think it's implied.
Still kind of up in the air, right?
It's implied that it's like several
entities.
Entities, but it's never really conditioned down to who she initially was, possessed by first. I think what really took me initially when I first watched this film, because I had an inkling of what, like Chad, I knew what the movie was going to be about, but I didn't know it was going to be a mockumentary either. But I didn't realize how surprisingly graphic some of the content of this movie is going to be. Like, especially when it coincides with a lot of Mink's slow depravity. She's, I guess she's bleeding and she's, fucking employees at a workplace. But any point where, this is going to sound a little bit rude, a little bit sexist, but anytime someone squats, any woman just squats and pisses in public or pisses on the table, that's like, ooh, damn, that's you're possessed. You can't get that's messed up.
You do know that most of the toilets in that part of the world are squatty stuff, right?
Yeah, but like you're not gonna pee on a table though, right?
You don't have to pee on the table.
Dirty. And it's not like the fucking Melbourne Cup, in your house, right?
There was a couple of moments in this where I, in my notes, I've just got stream of conscious thoughts like pissing on the table, panties in the mouth. That poor dog, boiled.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If you're a dog lover, you should watch this movie.
You know it's coming as well. There are like two foreshadowing moments when she's going to kill that dog, and she eventually kills that dog.
But it's all the way through right to the very start with heavenly dog food, right? Like with Noise business.
Noise trying to justify why it's okay to eat dogs. Pretty strong argument, I must say. But you don't have to boil them alive.
That stuff with the security cameras, I thought was really well done. It was very Paranormal Activity. I think that was probably some of the creepiest and scariest kind of moments.
Scary.
And those sections are very effects light as well. Like compared to something like grave encounters or anything. Like it's all very much performance based.
And having her hiding in the foreground of scenes, like there's the one bit with the stairs where you just see her eyes and her teeth underneath the stairs.
I watched this for the first time at like 12 or 1 a.m. when I first saw it. I like watching horror movies at night. That's when you get the most effects. And I've definitely got a bit more of an immunity these days. I've conquered a lot of my childhood trauma horror films and rewatched them. And like, it's not that scary anymore. But yeah, as you said, that scene where she's in the foreground and she sort of just slowly peers out under the stairs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's so scary, because you just see her eyes and then you see her face, and it's just like it's almost quite ghostly, actually. Yeah, when she pops out, and it's just like, oh, so creepy. Yeah,
I think that
gets under your skin.
And some of the locations are really creepy too. Like that shit is going to go down in that old burnt down hell building that we see. It's that's a great location. Externally, internally, it was hell.
it was literally hell, right? Yeah.
That felt very much like your Gongjam haunted asylum kind of situation. It's interesting because, admittedly, I haven't watched that many Thai films, but like the overall feel of this film, even though it is set in Thailand or Isan area, it felt like a Korean film to me. And I don't know if that's
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
is it the production value?
I think it might be. It looked too clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, Dan. I think partly it's the Korean money.
It felt like money.
Look, this is not to besmirch Thai productions.
No, you don't need to be an expensive film to be a good film. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just had a different vibe to it. And I think it is just in how polished, I guess, everything looked. And I'm not sure whether, for me, if that's a positive or a negative, because I really like this film as well. But I do wonder if it was just a little bit more grungier. I don't know, maybe that would have been effective as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what I said earlier, that like when it is a mockumentary, but then, when characters need to, I guess, develop and have exposition, it's suddenly not a mockumentary anymore, it's a film. And, they obviously got the best fucking lapel mics ever. Because, they're like flying around and it's like, damn, it's like, oh, quick, get the audio out, So it's like,
Those are some things that you kind of have to wave away when it's the found footage format. It's like, why is this soundtrack creeping in? When did they get time to do that? They all got killed at the end, I'm pretty sure. Who's editing all this together? I mean, have you seen many Thai films before, Chad? I mean, you mentioned, what was it?
Born to Fight,
that's it.
Born to Fight, like Ong Bak and stuff like that. So mainly I think I've seen more of the martial arts action films than the horror stuff.
Yeah, but I guess if you compare like something like Ong Bak even, just how it looks and feels, like the kind of grittiness of it, you can almost feel the texture of the film, I guess.
Yeah.
Compared to something polished like this, was it noticeable to you?
Now that you mention it, yes. I can definitely, like, in my mind's eye, picture the two, and there is very two distinct palettes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fair few years in between the two films as well, so it might just be like a modernization, I guess. Because we watched one recently called How to Make Millions Before My Grandma Dies, which is not... Yeah, not the best title for it, but it's a really good film. It's called Lan Ma in Thai, but it's more of like a family drama kind of story.
Yeah,
but that felt
That's
very
a very
polished as
movie,
well.
I think.
Yeah. So maybe it's just modern
Could just
Thai
be
films
technology as well. Yeah. There's definitely a number of Thai horror that I've seen from the early 2000s, which there's definitely a certain charm to the grunge and the PS2 style VFX that you see. I'd love to cover those movies someday, but I think there's a great anthology series called Phobia. It's like the 4 and BIA. It's like 5 or 4 Thai horror films, and then there was a second one. Very like cool experimental stuff. A lot of PS2 horror stuff in that, but it looks cool. I really enjoyed it. But I think with this one, there's not as much VFX, except maybe the only noticeable one is probably in the window, if you remember that scene where they're driving her to meet someone, and then she's like leaning her head against like the car window, and then you see the reflection of her, and the reflection does an eerie smile, and she's not doing anything. Yeah. That's quite creepy. Yeah,
there's a lot of creepy moments in this film, and it does escalate.
Yeah, it does. I really like the ritual stuff, just the look and feel of a lot of the ritual, the stuff outside with the tree that Nim does at the start, and then
that's really cool.
And then the one inside of the building when shit like fully pops off. It was really cool, interesting, very different and unique, I could say, like an original look to the ritual stuff.
There's some great production design in this film, and this goes again to like the polished look of the film, because with the mockumentary style, you have to be quite agile with the camera because they're moving all over the place. They're moving around the characters and moving around the space. And from what I've seen in the film, a lot of the lighting and the color grading, is still quite top notch. And to pull that off, you'd have to do a lot of rehearsal, and you'd have to do a lot of just prep work to just make sure everything looks good. I mean, there's probably some dickhead crew member that left a coffee cup on the on the desk or something, or left a water bottle, or left something there, or left a piece of film gear, but I didn't notice any of that.
Who left their dog soup on the floor? Like you're right. Even though we have talked about how clean the film looks, it does look dirty when it needs to be as well. Like, aside from the scenes of gore, the locations like the haunted thread factory or whatever it is, that looks suitably burnt out. When they discover Nim's body, I guess, like there's all these maggots on the floor, and that looks suitably dirty.
That was a rug pull that I wasn't expecting.
Because you're following Nim this whole time, right? She's the hero of the piece. She dies like half an hour before the end of the film. Yeah, she's a medium. Yeah. That was interesting. That was an interesting turn of events. As soon as that happens, it's not going to be a happy ending for these people.
They're fucked.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. Like you can't rely on Santi. You can't rely on a guy named Santi.
What were some of the more like disturbing moments for you guys in this film? I know. We probably all agree that peeing on a table was one of them.
The
dog soup.
The hanging used rubber in the wardrobe.
Oh, yeah.
When they're trying to get all the items, which I thought was a very cool thing, that each item was kind of connected to one of the demons that was in her. So when they're going through a room, and then I actually I didn't see what it was, and I was like, I've got to go back. She reacted really weirdly, and then I paused and I was like, oh, that's full.
It's still sticky. That's pretty nasty. I mean, the whole ending sequence is pretty gnarly. The guy gets disemboweled at one point.
Yeah, this is filming. He's got his guts out after he gets ripped by a zombie.
With the camera change.
Zombie people.
He drops the camera. She picks it up to film his guts all out, which falls into those traps of found footage stuff, especially towards the end with action.
Tropes.
You've got to move the camera around. You've got to do that.
It's a lot of that.
I'm still going to get the shot.
I would be like, I'm not getting the fuck out of here.
Quickly, shit's about to pop off in this found footage horror film. I've got to turn the night vision on.
That's the life of a cinematographer, man. It's like, if I'm going to die, I get the best damn shot. So whoever finds this found footage can edit it into one of the best Thai horror movies.
I'd love to see a movie like this, but then have a camera crew filming the camera crew making the found footage. So you see the boom guy running around screaming while like the zombies are like just seeing what's happening on the other side of the camera. The sound guy screaming, the boom guy running around.
I mean, that's one cut of the dead, basically.
Oh, is it?
You should watch that movie, One Cut of the Dead.
I've known of it. I've never seen it. I'll definitely have to watch it.
Extremely wholesome movie. One of the most wholesome movies that I've seen ever. But
fantastic. Yeah, more wholesome than this. A baby gets killed in this film.
I was gonna say, look, I've got a big note about this fucking baby. Like, look, I get that there's tropes, and I get that, you know, there's sort of, you really have to suspend your disbelief. But honestly, at a point,
You wouldn't keep a baby in the house.
you get that fucking
Get the
baby out of there.
the
Get
fucking
the baby
house,
for
mate.
one night. Go find someone, anyone, pay them some money. I'm sure someone will look. You've seen Mink boil a dog alive and take the baby initially.
I like how the guy, the dad, I forget what his name, Manit, I think his name is.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he,
Manit,
he
yeah.
comes home after presumably a night of drinking, stumbles across a pot of dog soup and realizes that Mink has escaped her room somehow. The first thing he does is wake up the camera crew. He doesn't go check on his wife and baby first. What the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, it's really one of those
No,
moments
good.
where it's like it's like, man, I still really enjoyed this film, but it really does like take it back a bit. Like it was too much. Like,
And his wife, mate.
Yeah.
Frustrating character.
Frustrating
at
as
that,
hell.
At that
Oh,
moment.
yeah. You were sitting next to your baby, and the baby didn't teleport into the locked room with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just
like,
show her that the baby's in the crib. Just show her.
Yeah, like just like the guy's like, "Hey, cameraman," just like, okay, I'll go have a look now. He's like, I'm just gonna get the shot, gonna get the focus, gonna make sure the
Come
exposure's
on, man.
right.
There's
Like,
two of you. There are two of you. Go force her to look into the crib. Come on, guys.
yeah, that really like. Because of course that's the moment where they've got Mink in this room that they're not supposed to open, but Mink is a demon by this point, and she mimics the crying of a baby. But it's
Yeah.
like, man, that's what kicks the whole hell demon zombie sequence in order. But still, I felt like, yeah, this is a little bit forced, especially from what's preceding the movie. Is this very thoughtful, thought-provoking, tragic story, very like carefully.
Everyone is very
crafted
smart
moment.
up to that point. Like
then
Nim
it's,
is quite smart, you know? Like she's very quick to realize that, it's not Bayan. It's not the cousin that killed himself. I better get some help. Like she gets help when she needs to get help. Like these are all smart decisions for a horror movie person to make.
And then as soon as she dies.
As soon as she's gone, it's like, let's just all make the dumbest decisions ever. But that's horror movies, you know? There's always a bit of frustration when you're watching horror movies. And that's part of the fun of it, I guess.
Yeah. They're always going to run up the stairs. So
They're always going to fall at the wrong times.
yeah.
I love the guy who when Mink escapes her room, Mink kind of goes on a murder spree. She kills like the daughter-in-law. She kills one of the cameramen. She's eating the baby, and the other camera guy, he like runs and hides in the cupboard, and then comes out of the cupboard only to find that she's still there, and then runs back into the storeroom and doesn't lock the door. What's wrong with it? Come on, buddy.
He's got to get the shot, Dad. Got to get the shot. It's like, I'm
that's
terrified,
true.
but that's some good. If I survive this, I'm going to get the fucking Oscar, bro. You know?
I guess he was the last man standing. Somebody had to get the shot.
That's the other special effect I just realized. The Death Stranding feat when they're doing the ritual and you get all the footprints.
Yeah.
That was a very subtle visual effect. I love too that it's so graphic and like there's so much violence in that sequence leading up to Mink setting her mother on fire, but you don't see that. That's all done off camera with the classic found footage. Camera gets knocked to the ground. You only see a portion of what's going on, and I thought that was really effective, which was a contrast to everything that was happening just before it.
Yeah.
It was
And it kind of adds to the tragedy of the situation.
does,
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this movie to be this violent either as well. Because I think I'd seen that it was R-rated. I'm like, seriously? Like, I thought that was just a mistake. But I'm like, I mean, she's eating a damn baby. You know, that's pretty. You didn't see it, but you see it, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
It's not going to deter people. Yeah, but this leads on as to what Chad was alluding to before, which is the after she sets the mother on fire and the ritual has failed, it shows back to Nim's final interview, and then it's sort of her just at the peak of her stress, and she's lost faith, and she says, I don't know whether or not I was making this shit up or if it's real. Like, I don't know about this whole Bayan thing, and it's really sad. Like I was just
So sad.
just extremely just sad because none of this is anyone's fault, but it's just like her trying to deal with things and her really trying to help Mink out for the whole movie, you know, and trying to figure it out. But for the whole time, she's sort of just she's rolling with what she knows.
Yeah, she's
and
rolling on
she
faith.
doesn't know. Yeah, and she doesn't really know either. And I think it's quite tragic.
And I completely feel that at that, like with that moment and her losing that faith and her death, if she hadn't have died, I think we wouldn't have had a movie because the ritual would have been fine. They would have done a transfer and everything would have been sorted.
Yep. The baby would still be alive.
That dog wouldn't have been boiled. Oh,
if I was that kid and I grew up and I survived, it's like I'd be so cut. And my parents like, you took me to a fucking super dangerous ritual where you could have just chucked me somewhere, you know, just for one night.
Just get a hotel, man. There's probably a hotel in that town, right?
Yeah.
God.
Just get more. Just get more acolytes to look after Mink. Like, did he just run out of guys or something?
He had plenty of guys. I guess they were all prepping for the ceremony.
Yeah, they couldn't spare a hand. Maybe Paul and Steve called out on the last minute. Oh, can't come tonight. Yeah, gotta feeling a bit crook, eh?
The next day they're just hanging out. They're like, "Did you hear about that shit that happened at the thread factory? God, glad we called in sick."
They're out of the job now.
Before we move on to the next section of the show, Chad, did you have any final thoughts?
The only other thought that I'd had, and it's in my notes and we haven't touched upon it, is when it's time for my funeral, I want a firework to shoot and start my cremation process.
Yeah, what was that? What was that?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I was like, man, that's some precision right there. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's going to be written in my will.
I had to rewind it to see like whether that happened or not. Because I was like, because that's a pretty small window as well.
Sharpshooter. Firework sharpshooter. No,
that's like fucking extreme, you know, sniper. Like, you know, they got to calculate like was the Coriolis effect and whatever, you know, and they're gonna amount for the wind. That's that is a hell of a way to start a funeral.
If you are Thai and you have been to a funeral before, comment in and let us know whether that's common practice. Because I've been to some Buddhist funerals and I've never seen some shit like that.
Nah.
That's some precision shit.
No, but I've got nothing else to add other than that I was a big fan and thank you for introducing me to this movie.
No, it was our pleasure. We love doing this. Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it. Well, let's ruin it by going on to the next section. Let's talk about how to make this into a Bad Hollywood remake. So this is a question we ask all of our guests. So the mission is you are a bigwig Hollywood executive. You've just seen this movie and you're like, all right, let's capitalize on this. Let's try to make a Bad Hollywood remake. How are you going about this, Chad? Who's your director? Which studio are you bringing it to? What's your format?
So they want to go back to the old days of these Asian to Western remakes. So DreamWorks it gets introduced to DreamWorks because they did The Ring. They helped produce The Ring. They want to recash in on that, but then they hire Paul W.S. Anderson to direct the movie.
Okay.
And then, of course, Nim is played by his wife, Mila Jovovich.
Yes.
Must
have.
They got to get the it girl at the moment. So for Mink, it's Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah.
Although, like, you know, I put her in because she's the it girl and she's easy to attack, but she's in a couple of very good horror movies. I will give her.
Yeah, she's a bit of a scream queen, so it makes sense. That's actually a proper logistical choice. Yeah.
And then I kind of start to lose steam with my stuff. I so I got I've even named them too. So Mila Jovovich is Nancy, and then Sydney Sweeney is Marie, and then Reese Witherspoon plays Natalie. And then I can't, and then I didn't pick anybody. I couldn't round out the rest of the cast. But the movie would then devolve into the full-on found footage action movie. There would be no class towards the end. It'd just be dumb.
But it would probably be like, as we talked about how bleak the medium is, like I would assume if I was doing the Bad Hollywood remake, it would be something more along the lines of what they did with Speak No Evil, where like most of the film is fine, but then they're like, nah, we want a good ending, and that's what they would do with this one. So Mila Jovovich would just turn into Alice from the Resident
she wouldn't
Evil
die.
series.
She would end up dual wielding, and the demons would come out of the ritual from Sydney Sweeney, and it would be a full-on action sequence of Resident Evil proportions as she dual wields and kills all these demons, and then they all go out for shawarma at the end.
Would it just be another possession, like Christian possession flick? Would you get? I know who you would get to be the character of Santi, who is the shaman. It would be Russell Crowe, man. It could be like, hey Russell,
Australia's own.
Yeah.
Rusty
do you want to
Crowe.
make another exorcism movie?
Can I punch some demons? Yeah, you can, Rusty.
It would be a loose sequel to The Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah. I haven't seen that film. I'm just assuming he punches demons in that film because it's Rusty Crowe. What else is he gonna do?
But he's doing the accent from as Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. So the real Con
the Fruiterer accent. Yeah, classic.
Yeah. So that's how I would ruin this movie.
I love it. I love that pitch. I have one addition that I would like to make.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Have you guys seen, I can't really remember which Transformers film it is. It was one of the Mark Wahlberg ones where in the middle of the film, they just all of a sudden, they just do The Office for a bit. It's like the TV show Office.
Yes.
It must have been at peak Office popularity because they just shoehorned in this Office dramedy in the middle of a Transformers film. But that's what I would like to do to this remake. Nim's workplace where she's working at the at the recruitment center. Yeah. I just want to insert an Office style dramedy where it's it'll be Steve Carell but Sydney Sweeney's pissing on tables and stuff, and then Steve Carell looks at the camera and is like. And
then they're watching the footage of the men that she's sleeping with in the office. It's just Dwight.
Yeah.
It's just Dwight every single time. If they did a proper non-bad remake of this, it would just become another Possession of Emily Rose movie, and it would lose all of its charm and originality and the folk nature of it, which I really love the folk nature of the movie, it would strip back out, and it would just be a Christian propaganda film.
This could be just one of those. It would be made by a Christian studio.
That's how we should have done it. It's all Kirk Cameron and Candace Cameron, and that's the movie. Damn it.
That would be the remake of the Hollywood remake.
Yeah. The Lifetime version. Only on the Christian channel.
Hallmarks the media. And it's all got that really bad flat lighting. I mean, we're talking about the film is too polished. It's okay. Well, get rid of the lighting budget too. We're just shooting everything flat now. Just turn the exposure up. Just give it 6,000 ISO. That'll do. Don't worry about ND filters.
Slap it together. Just get it out there. Nice one. I would greenlight that. All of that. All right, we're up to the plug portion of the episode, Chad. So where can people find you?
So you can find me personally on my Instagram page. It's at the Chad's Rad. That's just me, which is Occasionally I post some life stuff, but a lot of it is just reposts from Cheers Biggies, which you can find on Instagram at Cheers Biggies Podcast. We're also on Facebook. We've got a TikTok as well. It's all Cheers Biggies Podcast. You can email the show at cheersbiggiespodcast@gmail.com. We do have a merch page that nobody's bought anything from. That's gingerninjastudio.com. For all your merch that you don't want to buy. I think that's it, really.
I'll put links to all of those in the description here.
Thank you.
Check out Cheers Big Ears podcast. It's a lot of fun, just a lot of good banter.
A lot of good banter, a lot of good times, a lot of drinking. That's always good.
Yeah.
True Australian culture.
You'll find a topic that you're into. There's a wide spread to choose from.
Yeah, and it's not all about booze anymore. It used to be. It's more just about the conversation now, and occasionally crack a drink.
Less about boobs, less about booze, and more about boobs.
Yeah, I do have a note in my phone for a future topic, which is just called boobs and appreciation.
Yeah. That's when we do our eventual Urosugi Dochi cross review, right?
Yeah. Top 5 best
I
animated
think that
boobs.
would be the top five hentais.
You got to choose 5. So 2.5 women.
I remember I saw that you put on one of your Instagram posts, Chad. You're like, oh yeah, we were beaten by I think it was your mate Danny Boy.
Oh, Danny Boy.
By 30 seconds.
Yeah.
For being the longest episode of
We
the
were so
year.
close.
So close.
We were close.
So you just
I reckon if I was like, ooh, if he had that competitive spirit in me, I'm like, I definitely could have talked about those movies way longer if I wanted to. But yeah.
What I should have done, and I forgot to do it in the edit, was to put the pour noise, the overly long pour sound effect in for when you were pouring your drink.
When he pours the wine.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that would have, I didn't, I
That would have taken us
completely,
over,
yeah,
right?
it would have taken us over, and I completely forgot about it. So it's on me, it's not on you guys. But I'm sure on your next appearance you'll smash
good.
You'll smash the record.
Definitely.
Challenge accepted.
We'll have to find another broad top 5. What could it be? Top 5 best hentais. Top 5 best.
I could probably give you a 5.
It would be hard to cut mine down to 5, honestly.
I think we do. I think we go deep into like video games and stuff on the next one, because we only barely kind of touched upon it in your last episode. So I think.
Ooh, top 5 best Asian produced video games.
Oh yeah, that'd be
interesting. That'd be harder though, because I'm a huge gamer, but like I'm not as knowledgeable when it comes to games. Like I'm not in the who's who in the history of what's. I mean, of course I know who Hideo Kojima is.
Yeah.
And I've been playing Silent Hill F recently a lot as well.
I was going to get that.
Awesome game.
I haven't. I've got to finish Metal Gear Snake Eater Delta.
probably
do that first.
Good choice.
But
I got a bad habit of buying games and not finishing them.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Lately, I've got to. I think if I had a top 5, I think it would be predominantly just Resident Evil and Silent Hill 2. I think would be in my 5. It'd be like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 4 original, and then I could go Resident Evil 1, 2, 4 remakes.
Wow. No love for Nemesis?
Nemesis was fun. I didn't like the remake. I thought it felt too on the rails.
I haven't played the remake.
The original one, I remember.
I didn't finish that one. Yeah.
I remember the original one I did enjoy, but 1 and 2 I think fantastic. 2 I think I'm a fan more of the original Resident Evil 2 than like the remake. Or even 4. I think 4 is where the series pivoted hard.
There's definitely,
and
it's a fun game though, very fun.
And it was creepy and like a kind of a benchmark of survival horror. But I think 2, with the dueling protagonists and the A and B side and everything, I think it was a natural progression from the first one. And the less we say about like Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, the better.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's future content. We should wrap it up there. We're losing. We're going to lose the time.
Yeah, we've somehow transitioned into an episode of Cheers Big Ears. You got another 2 hours, Chad? We can keep recording if you want.
Just do a 4-hour recording and then just let Dan edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, thanks for coming on, Chad.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely. And I had the best time. Thank you for introducing me to a new favorite film. And I would definitely come back on whenever you want. And whenever you have me, I would, I'd love to come back on.
I'm sure that's not too far in the future because I would just love to revisit. There's a lot of classics. There's a lot of classics on Shudder that I would love to revisit, and that way you can watch legally. Yeah, but you know, legally in that sense. So definitely like it. I guess like with you, we're just like, it doesn't have to be super disturbing. You already watched all the fucked up shit anyway, so maybe we can do family friendly stuff.
Yeah, I would watch anything you put my way.
We should do a family friendly episode. In fairness, like we should do the most wholesome film that we can think of. Let's put our heads together and try to think of the most wholesome film we can cover. That'll be fun.
That'd be amazing.
All right. But until then, Chad, we'll say goodbye to you from here. Guys, what did you think of The Medium if you've seen it? Not the Patricia Arquette one, but the Thai one. Let us know. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to join in the conversation. You can follow us on Instagram at TikTok at twoasianblokes to see what we're up to. Please do check out Cheers Big Ears. I will put links in the description. And happy Halloween, guys. Happy spooky season. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
Ooh, don't eat dogs.
Until then,
not cool.
Don't eat dogs.
It's the other white mate.
God.
God damn.